Thank you for listening and welcome to the Life Radio Show, a proud member of the SJ Network and Breaking the Fourth Wall Entertainment. I'm your host, Don Smith. This week I had the pleasure of talking to singer, songwriter, and trombone player Aubrey Logan. We talk about music, life, and an emu trying to eat her husband's face. If you enjoy the show, like and follow the Life 1069 on Facebook and Don Smith Comedy on Twitter, or tune in live on Tuesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, or you can stream the show live at WWSU1069.org.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
This podcast is part of the SJ Network. Go to s-j-network.com for more great podcasts and for contact information on publicist Steve Joyner.
All right. Hey, welcome to the Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith. We are getting ready to Zoom along again. But first, I want to say I appreciate this morning. I had no idea how much I was supposed to feel sorry for the royal family during a pandemic where so many people are losing their jobs and livelihoods. But thank you, Oprah, for pointing that out. You usurped my entire morning news so I could feel bad about the royal family. And there are so many questions that I have. I haven't watched the full interview, nor will I, but I just have to say, did Meghan not know what a royal family was? Has she not researched this? Did you not know what you were getting yourself into? I mean, your mother-in-law is Princess Diana. That's a clue. So we're going to move on from that. But I just had to point that out because somehow royal families being corrupt and weird and creepy is news. Not like it was also news thousands of years ago when we invented the stupid concept of having a religious chosen royal family to rule over us small-minded folk. My guest is already on the show and probably wondering what she got herself into already. Aubrey Logan, singer, songwriter, trombone player.
Yes,
I almost said tromboner. I wanted to.
It's okay. Wouldn't have been the first time.
It almost came out that way. I apologize already. I start my show with an apology sometimes. So
I don't know whether to say I'm sorry or you're welcome, but
Well, welcome to the show. It's great to have you on board.
Thanks, Don. Appreciate it.
Hopefully you'll remain on board for the whole
I'm
entire
right
show.
here.
All right.
I'm already intrigued.
All right. That's good. And you're the guest, so you've intrigued yourself, which is great.
I have intrigued myself. It's almost like you're the guest.
I like it that way. That way I don't have to ask any questions. I can just sit here and be entertained.
Absolutely. I think that you've picked the right job for you.
Excellent. That's well, my guidance counselor said this is what I would end up doing, is just being very bad as a host.
A guidance counselor being correct about something is pretty intriguing to me. So
that is.
Yeah.
I've never really met any that were correct about much.
Me neither.
So I'm going to have you tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got into tromboning.
Yeah. The very verb. I was born in the Seattle area and was raised there. And my parents are music teachers. My mom is a choir director, and my dad is a band director. And yes, they met at work. And I came from that. And so I was growing up listening to so much music. I was growing up listening to my parents' curated playlists, essentially. So when we would be cleaning the house together or in the car on road trips or whatever, and I'm an only child, I would hear Stevie Wonder, Beethoven, Whitney Houston, the Eagles, Karen Carpenter, Dolly Parton, and Snoop Dogg in the span of 30 minutes to an hour. And I just thought that was normal. Because when you're a kid, whatever you're given is what you think is normal.
Right.
So I just thought that span of genres was what everybody did. We just listened to music. It didn't matter. And of course, having my parents be teachers, a lot of times there were teenagers coming in and out of the house that would sing, taking voice lessons from my mom or taking trumpet lessons from my dad or something. So I would, by osmosis, hear a lot of music. I would memorize their repertoire just because they were there and just because I was there. And I would eavesdrop all the time. You know, when your parents are teachers, you don't want to learn from them. You don't want them to be your teacher. So even though they had a wealth of have a wealth of knowledge, I didn't really want them to be teaching me. I would be like, "Oh, mom, I know how to do this." But I'm a hypocrite because what child isn't? But I constantly listened in on everything they were doing. So where we grew up, it wasn't Nashville, it wasn't LA, it wasn't New York. So it wasn't like you took your talented kid to a record label and got them signed. It wasn't like that. But what was available to us was a bunch of very professional and amateur musical theater companies. And so after singing at church and doing whatever I could, I went and auditioned for a bunch of musical theater roles as a kid, like a young kid, like younger than 10. I ended up getting quite a few child roles. I ended up understudying several things. I kind of just learned how to prepare. I learned how to be a performer and work hard and put on a production. By the time I'm 12 or 13, I'm kind of sick of being away from school, being away from my friends, because it does take you away, and you have to kind of do your homework remotely and have a tutor and everything. So I was back in middle school, which is a lovely place to be and a lovely age to be. And my friends were all, I was a singer already. My friends were all in the band, and that made their lunch hour different than mine. And when you're 12, that's quite a crisis. So my mother, who was the choir director at my school, which meant there was no way I'd be in choir, was realizing that I was weepy about it and like upset about it. And she asked her colleague, the band director, I mean, talk about nepotism. Speaking of royalty, asking the band director if I could join the band. But the problem was I was late. Everyone else had started band like 2 years before, and I was busy learning to read music elsewhere, but not play an instrument. And he said, the band director, who I attribute so much to him, and if Mike, I don't want to call you Mike, that's weird. Mr. Mines, if you're listening to this somehow, thank you. I've always credited you for this. He believed in me enough to let me give it a shot, even though I was new. And I tried a flute, I tried a French horn, I tried a trumpet, because my dad had access to all these instruments and I was able to try them all. Tried a clarinet, tried a saxophone, and then I tried a trombone, and I could make a sound on it, instant gratification type of a thing. Right. And I also had been exposed to bands like Chicago and James Brown and everything. And I had seen trombones in those bands. So I had some frame of reference. And so playing it was just, okay, it's going to be this. And I wanted to be in the jazz band, but I didn't see clarinets in the jazz band. Even I now know that clarinets can play jazz, but at the time, I'm like, I want to play jazz. I don't just want to play classical. I want to play something else, contemporary music. And so I got into the jazz band, and then that's when I started to sing jazz too, was because of that. And so then I started writing pop songs. I went to Berkeley. I went to the Montreux Jazz Festival very young, won the competition there, because music should be a competition, right? Because it's a sport. Not. I do act. I'm not against festivals and, musicians working hard towards a goal, but it's definitely not a sport. And I became an artist. Oh boy, there I am. And when I was a little girl, I wanted to be an artist. I didn't realize that meant run a company or be a boss lady, but that's what it is, and that's what it means, and that's perfectly fine. And I've been so blessed to be able to. I've made a couple records. The first one was entirely funded by fans. The second one also was, and the second one got to Billboard #1. I've been able to tour with some of my musical heroes. I toured with Dave Koz. That one got to Billboard #1 on the jazz charts too, contemporary jazz charts. And then I've been able to play the Sydney Opera House, the Hollywood Bowl, Rockwood, or sorry, Radio City Music Hall.
It's an easy one to forget.
Yeah. Ronnie Scott's in London and the Hammersmiths. I've been able to be in these venues and do my thing, and it was never easy, but it was so rewarding. And so yeah, I've been a touring artist as a solo artist for about 10ish years, and then all my life before that, leading up to that, was to be that and do that. And so I've gotten to perform a duet with Gloria Estefan on an album. I've gotten to sing
Nice.
with sing backup for Seth MacFarlane and Michael Bublé and Josh Groban and some cool people. And I've gotten to sing a Burt Bacharach song for Burt Bacharach, and I've gotten to do these things. But I've also gotten to tour with my peers and learn from them and be inspired by them, in both in songwriting and arranging and in performing. And so that's the life I live. It's a little crazy, and yet I wouldn't trade it for anything.
No, it sounds like you're constantly staying busy and doing what you love, and that's important, I think.
It is very much.
You said something at the beginning about how you listen to all the different types of music that would be in the car, and I'm not a musician by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm about the same way as far as my playlist is all over the place, and that's, to me, that always seemed normal too, to have
right. I mean,
taste.
And if it's beautiful, it's beautiful, and if it sucks, it sucks. So I don't really care I don't watch one kind of movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything, different types of music will take you to different places in your head and different emotions, and that's the important part of it. Because today I was having a bad day. Today it was a Wu-Tang day.
Well, you needed that. You needed to let it out.
Yeah, on the way home, a little Megadeth just to get that going.
When it's a bad day for me, it's Don Henley wailing about New York Minutes and waste of time. So
I have those days too, because I'm also a big Eagles fan. So.
Me too.
Yeah, a little bit of everything, because it always, I think anybody that rides in my work truck probably thinks I'm a little bit schizophrenic, because I have a flash drive, a thumb drive that has almost all of my music on that, and it'll go from Flat and Scruggs bluegrass to Bob Marley to Wu-Tang to
sounds like we could ride in the truck together. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to experience different things.
Right.
But yeah, playing with some of those names has to have been just fantastic, especially with that career being your goal for so long.
Yeah, it was, and it fantastic, and really truly, you think you do everything yourself. You think you're hot stuff, and then you realize so many people have. If it weren't for several of those folks, there's a group I play with called Postmodern Jukebox, which is quite viral, and they've toured extensively around the world. And if it weren't for them, if it weren't for Scott Bradley, the leader of that, having me be a part of his thing, I wouldn't have gained his fans. And then if it weren't for Dave Koz having me on his tour, I wouldn't have gained his fans. And I do, it's a lot of hard work, and it's also a lot of folks just being willing to say, listen to Aubrey, and people with clout being willing to say, give this girl a chance. And because I don't fit the major label model in any way. I mean, I'm a jazz singing / pop R&B singing, trombone playing girl, and they don't know how to brand that, or I don't either, trust me. So neither do I, but I do know that I like to write music, and I like to arrange music, and I know that my music, and because of the multi-genre thing, my original songs have been played by the Boston Pops and the Seattle Symphony, and I've played, pops orchestras and everything. And that's this kind of stuff I was hearing as a kid. And so seeing it come together like this is really it's really it's surprising and it's not, it's cool.
And it all started because you wanted the same lunchtime as your friends.
You got that right. Because I was a
Yeah.
hormonal preteen.
See, my friends always got me into trouble. That was they never got me into a lifelong career that I love. That's not.
Listen, I was a goody two shoes. So I was, man, I've been trying to avoid trouble my whole life. Turns out getting into a little bit of trouble can help a little bit, like shake it up a little bit, be a little different. Then you
it
might
can be
get noticed.
fun. Yeah, it can be fun. So, but you grew up with parents in the school with you.
One of them sometimes.
Okay.
I could have been rebellious. I don't think. I mean, my parents tell me that, and I don't have siblings, and I feel like if I did, I wonder if they would have been. Just because I don't think you get two, right? Two that want to be home by curfew, like I did, like.
Yeah,
And want to be on a schedule. My dad had to say, Aubrey, I need you to get a B so that I know as your father you'll be okay if you do. Instead that you won't crumble. So I got a C.
See, when I was going to school, I was the youngest of 4 boys.
Uh-huh.
And so they all knew me that before I got there.
So was my husband. He was the youngest of 4 boys too.
And my mother was she would fill in for the secretary at the middle school from time to time.
She kept tabs on you.
Oh yeah.
That's
And
great.
it seemed like every time she got called in to work in that office, I would get sent there for something. Like just every time. It never failed.
I love it.
Even if I wasn't doing anything, they would manufacture something.
Of course. Why not? Just so your mom could see you getting there.
Exactly. I think they
So
did.
funny.
They just didn't like me. I don't know what it was.
I would have been your friend at school. I just would have told you to shape up.
And I wouldn't have.
Right. No way. Of course not.
Yeah, good times though. Good times.
Of course.
I didn't have a lot of friends that told me to shape up. Most of my friends were worse than me. I was the more straight-laced of the bunch. But
there you go.
Then high school hit, and I don't know what happened. I don't remember most of that, but
it's out. It's gone.
Yeah,
Well,
thankfully.
I have a time when my brain, I have selective memory. I did get a golden ticket to Hollywood on American Idol, and I went to I remember it now because I'm healed from it all now. But Simon Cowell just could not stand me, just could not, and he was super publicly shaming me on TV, and I for a time I did try to block that out of my memory, but I'm happy to talk about it now. It's fine.
That's good. It's good that you can talk about it now. You've
because
a lot of therapy to get through your Simon Cowell
era. It
error.
doesn't matter anymore. It just does not matter anymore.
I can understand that, because I mean I can understand it not mattering because it's Simon Cowell. I mean, does he really?
You got to play a role, you got to be.
Yeah.
And he can think whatever he wants.
Well, if it helps any, I don't like him. So
that's all right. I don't know many people who do, but
I think that's his character, is to
maybe
be
he's delightful off camera. Maybe he's just
that could be
wonderful. Speaking of camera, mine just moved.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there.
Elevation. That was like lifted to the skies for a second. That's funny. Yeah.
Okay. We got that.
We're fine.
All right. So what else is happening? I know you have a tour getting ready to come up. Did I see that correctly?
Yes. So I've made a new album and it's out in May. So we're doing a live stream tour. As you know, not very many venues are open for full-on in-person tours, and that will shape up as that shapes up, they'll populate on my website. Any in-person shows will be there. But I am doing a live stream show, and the whole world's invited. 3 live stream shows, 4 actually, because I have a lot of fans over in Europe that want to tune in, and we make sure we try and do a noon Central Time show so that they can be involved. But yeah, and if you go to aubreylogan.com, you'll see a link to the the album release tour. The album is called Standard, and it's a traditional jazz album, which I haven't ever really done, even though I'm a jazz artist. Weird. And so it's about time. And I'm in a new city. I've moved from LA to Austin, and I made this album here in Austin during COVID times when I wasn't touring the world. And it's kind of the first album I've ever made without having to also be on tour at the same time. So for me, it was quite fun to be able to focus on one thing at a time. And so it had its silver lining to it all. And so I recorded it in here, and it's a jazz album, and it's called Standard. And if anybody's heard me before, they know that I take occasionally, when I'm not writing songs, I'll take other people's songs and turn them into a jazz tune. So it is a jazz album, and it is an album of standards, but some of them are pop standards. One of them is an opera standard, and the rest are pretty much jazz standards and a couple originals. So we will be performing those live. We will be celebrating the release of singles, one in March, one in April. We did one in February, and then the album comes out in May. And each show will be a little different. So if people want to see all the shows, there's a ticket for that. And then any virtual ticket comes with a digital download, no matter what. So they're getting the album. Nice. And so if they go to the website, it'll link them over to it. It's called the Standard Tour. The Standard album release tour, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. We'll have a live studio audience as much capacity as the venue will allow at these. So there will be some electricity in the room. It'll be nice to have some people in there again, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, yeah, Texas pretty much released all their controls right now. So
yeah, it's up to the businesses at this point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hopefully some of them have some sense, but
Right.
It is
Agreed.
going to be nice having live performances exist again.
I think people are hungry and thirsty for it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I got on stage once last year, and that was like in October for comedy. That's
Sure.
the last one
Yeah.
even that one was a weird outside venue, and I don't have luck with outdoor shows.
It's really, the things have to be in such perfect condition for them to feel okay.
Yeah.
But I posted outdoor shows. I posted something on Instagram the other day. I was playing a couple years ago, or a year and a half ago, in Atlanta in outdoors. I was singing a duet with an R&B singer named Kenny Lattimore, and he's a very, very good singer, and he's very he's like very handsome and very popular with the ladies. And I'm singing this love song duet with him, and a bug just flew right into my mouth, and I'm just like, oh, okay. And I'm singing, and the show must go on. And Kenny is singing with me, and I'm looking in his eyes, but he didn't know. He was none the wiser. And I'm just kind of going, all right, I'm gonna just chew on this bug during this song. And there's that particular show was the one that they had the cameras on. That particular, just that one, and it was all filmed. So now I actually, upon looking at the footage, and people wouldn't have noticed, I saw myself turn when he had a little verse. I turned and I tried to pull it out of my mouth unsuccessfully. So for the rest of the song, I have a very fake smile on my face, and an overly smiley smile, because I'm just telling myself, just act like nothing's wrong. And there's a bug in there, and it wouldn't go where I couldn't swallow the bug, and the bug wouldn't come out. And the bug was kind of alive, and then it was dead, and then the song was over.
It didn't last through the entire song and then fly out having.
It didn't. It died in there, and I kept it in there. Yeah.
Well, it's extra protein. You just you go ahead and wash it down.
That's what I kept saying.
Yeah.
That's what I kept saying to myself. God knew I needed dinner, and and Atlanta, it's hot. It's August. We're outside, and something's gonna go wrong.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, that's an outdoor show for you. I've never had a bug fly in my mouth, but there have been times there have been times I wish that had happened, because it'd probably been funnier than some of my jokes.
Listen, I mean, I knew it would happen to me someday, and then I posted it. I posted the video, and then I did a replay of me trying to get it out, and people totally saw it. And a lot of singers did comment. Other singers were like, "This has so happened to me. This has happened at outdoor gigs." So
that would be tough.
Have their risks.
Yeah, yes, that's the risk of kamikaze insects.
Woo.
Just
Oh yeah.
I might write down kamikaze insects. That might be a possible show title if we don't come episode title.
You absolutely should.
Yeah, that's how I come up with episode titles. Just random things get said through the show. So
exactly.
Yeah, because you never know.
You never know.
Gonna come out of this show. So.
Right. Kamikaze insects.
Yeah, hopefully new listeners and album downloads for you.
I would love them. And if you want to play any of it, I think my girl Christina sent you something, or let me know.
I was going to ask and make sure that would be okay to play.
Please do. The more, the merrier.
Yeah, because I've listened to some. Great. I haven't got any of your albums yet.
You have permission. End of story. You've heard it on. It's recorded. It's
all right. Yeah,
out
it's
Done.
Official. It is official.
It's official.
Aubrey Logan stamp seal of approval. We're good to go.
Aubrey says you can play her songs. Yes.
Yeah, but you want proof? There's even video. So
there is on the record.
Yeah, and there was no bug flying into her mouth as she said it.
No bug. Cat as a witness. Yep.
Does the cat help keep the bugs down?
Oh, he does. He's a pet. He's pest control for sure.
Awesome. Well, I think we're going to take a short break if you're ready. And
ready.
When we come back, we will cover some news stories that probably won't involve the royal family. I can't say that for sure. They might squeeze in there too. I might be reading an article and halfway through, Oprah busts in and says, "But what about Meghan Markle? Is it Merkel or Markle? I don't even know."
Markle. Okay.
See, that's how much I know about the royal family is basically what I learned today against my will, trying to watch the actual news. So it happens. I'm just glad they didn't interrupt something with a special news bulletin just to tell me about Meghan and Harry's escape from the evil royal family.
It is. What are you going to do?
I did kind of find it somewhat funny that they're they stopped doing their royal duties and then the royal family cut them off financially. It's like, well, yeah, you were paying that many times. I have quit my job and kept getting a paycheck. That's how that works, Harry. I wonder if he's going to have to go out and get a real job now, because I would love to be his manager at McDonald's because he doesn't have any work experience. So.
Somehow I doubt it, but somehow.
Yeah, somehow I'm pretty sure they're both going to be okay.
I think they might. I think they just might make it. Yeah.
You never know. Well, he did say he still had his inheritance left over from his mother. So I'm pretty sure he'll survive.
All 5 pounds of it. Yeah.
Yep. Which, I guess the Brexit, they did get away from the euro. So they're back to pounds. So
they were always pounds.
Oh, they never went full euro?
Never quite. No, I did have to do lots of currency exchanges on tour being there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's the one thing. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we will be back here shortly with more with Aubrey Logan. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Life Radio Show.
Grab your coat and get your hat. Leave your worries on the doorstep. Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. Can you hear a pitter pat? And that happy tune is your step. Life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with those blues on parade, but I'm not afraid. This rover crossed over. If I never had a cent, I'd be rich as Rockefeller. Gold dust at my feet on the sunny side of the street. Peter Pan, and that happy tune is your step. Life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with those blues on parade. Oh, but I'm not afraid. This rover crossed over. If I never had a cent, I'd be rich as Rockefeller. Gold dust at my feet on the sunny side of the street.
What's Your Effin' Binge is a podcast brought to you by Chris, Anchor, and Spotify. And what we talk to our guest about is what they're currently binge watching on TV. And what we do is we like to take a different approach. I don't want to know what the name of the show is that they're going to talk about before they come on. I have to actually guess it. So I ask them who, what, when, where, why, and try to figure out what it is that they're watching. A lot of times I'm able to guess it, and sometimes I'm not, and that's fine. That adds to the comedy of the show. We like to bring our guest on, whether they're a model or an actress or a producer or musician, and just let them have a platform to be able to tell everybody what they have coming up next, and also entertain everybody with what's worth watching. So I hope everybody tunes in for the next episode of What's Your Effin' Binge. Thanks. It's Chris.
Hey, this is Don Smith. I want to take a minute to tell you about The Devil's Apple, a new book by my friend William Morris. It's the true and brutally honest story about Bill's own battle with addiction. It was written for those struggling to overcome addiction as well as those watching a loved one struggle. In Bill's own words, you work just as hard to be an addict as you do to be clean and sober. You can find The Devil's Apple on Amazon.com, and for a limited time you can get it for free on the Kindle app.
All right. I'll tell you what to do. Go that way, really fast. If something gets in your way, turn.
All right. Hey, welcome back to the Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith. We are still zooming along with Aubrey Logan, having fun. We had our break. We did our whatever we did, our meditation to try kind of refocus the show.
Drank my Topo Chico.
Right. I had Harpo and Groucho. So, oh, okay. What is the Topo Chico?
It's sparkling water, and it's from Monterrey, Mexico, and it's very popular in Texas, where I live. And I call it spicy water because it's got an extra zing, more than like Pellegrino, or it's got its cult following. I'll tell you that.
No, I have not heard of it.
If you're into sparkling water, it's a great thing.
I'm not, but
okay, great. Lots of people hate it. Lots of people can't stand it.
Yeah, years ago, I tried some of it. I used to drink some of it, and it grew on me, and then it
just gross to some people.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan.
That's fine. I can make a sound with my body. Here.
Right. Perfect.
Yeah.
That'll help us refocus.
That will.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and hit some news stories and see what we can uncover.
Oh, here we go.
A lawn care company is seeking an outdoor gaming enthusiast to make $1,000 by playing cornhole, a game involving tossing small bags of corn into holes in a board. My True Green Lawn, an online retailer for True Green Lawn Care, said it is seeking someone to play cornhole in 5 separate days and complete a worksheet for each experience. I don't know. Okay, do you need...
It sounds like a casting call.
It does. It's like they're doing a cornhole reality show.
Because I used to get casting calls when I was living in LA, and I would occasionally do some acting, and it was always like seeking medium-sized, small-ish white girl to play geek role in high school drama. To half day's work will pay union wages. Like that's what that sounds like to me. But cornhole doesn't. I had to think of what that was. It's when you throw the little beanbag in the thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That's which when I years ago when this first became popular, I didn't know what it was at all. And somebody
Right.
asked me to play cornhole. I was like, I don't think so.
So
it's
wait,
just,
why does the lawn care company need somebody to play cornhole?
I don't know. We can read on and see if they actually
Okay.
give a reason.
Let's
Uh,
do that.
Here's their ad, the posting. Do you need more reasons to get outside? Looking for ways to have fun with social distancing? Want something to do that's good for all ages? If you are, then we have a job for you. We're paying someone $1,000 to play cornhole. The posting states the candidate will need to have access to their own cornhole equipment.
Obviously.
So they don't provide your cornholes. We're looking for someone who is willing to play cornhole and tell us about how you are using it to stay connected while staying safe, the website says. Applications are being accepted on the company's website through April 2nd, and the winner is scheduled to be announced April 7th. It still doesn't say why. I guess it's just a publicity thing. But I don't.
Okay,
yeah.
so do I get to make up some reasons why? Is that the game we can play? Or
Absolutely. What would be a good reason for a lawn care? I mean, I get it's a lawn game, but I would think lawn darts would be better because it would aerate the lawn for them.
Are they looking to film a commercial with someone playing cornhole, but they don't want to provide, they're too cheap to provide the actual new and untouched by any diseased hands, cornhole supplies.
Right.
But they need to film it. But the filming would cost more than $1,000 in my experience, at least. But maybe they're like, why? But it's not.
And it doesn't even say that they're going to provide the lawn.
I want to meet the person who does it.
You want to meet the $1,000 cornholer is what?
Yeah, who has the cornhole supplies or purchases the cornhole supplies, and goes and says, "Pick me, pay me the $1,000, and whatever I guess I'll expense the cornhole supplies."
Right,
or the $1,000 is just the gross payment, and then you got to go and buy yourself some cornhole, so that's an expense of the job. I guess
right. That's deductible. Yeah, that's a deductible expense. So yeah,
But does a person play cornhole alone? Isn't there some sort of competition involved?
Right. There you have to play cornhole against somebody else. So then that's digging into your profit. See, the idea there is you get paid the $1,000 and you tell who you're playing against that they only offered $400.
Except this is public information. What if they read the same article and the same casting call, and then they're going to know?
Yeah, the best thing you can do in that situation is pick a friend that either doesn't have internet access or can't read very well.
Yeah, that sounds pretty mean. I mean,
yeah, that was mean.
A lawn care company. Yeah. I mean, maybe, I don't know what the point, how is this benefiting the lawn care company is what I want to know. What are they getting out of
this?
Right.
I mean, I guess I don't know if they're showing off the beautiful lawn that they're now killing with cornhole boards.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. They've got to have some filming involved. If there's no cameras involved on this, then why are they doing it?
Right. For $1,000, just to have somebody write something up about how it was helping them have fun and stay connected.
Wow. Huh. Yeah. Well, what state are you in?
I'm in Ohio. This is in I don't believe this is in Ohio. Does it say where it is?
Okay.
It does not say where it is. So I guess this is a cross country. You can do this anywhere.
Anywhere. I have Bermuda grass
cornhole wherever.
Yeah. I have Bermuda grass at my house. It's dormant right now until the spring gets more full-fledged around here. But I don't know, if we want to talk about grass growing, that would be very riveting conversation.
We can actually move on to other news.
Let's do it. What's next?
Because there's always plenty of news. Chinese zoo's wolf enclosure is gaining attention online after a visitor captured video of a domesticated dog in the enclosure labeled for its wild canine cousins. A video posted to Chinese social media by a visitor to Zhangwushan Zoo in Jingnang, I don't know, shows the dog, which appears to be a Rottweiler, resting in a cage labeled as the wolf exhibit. The filmer said zoo employees told him there used to be a wolf in the cage, but it died of old age. An official with Forestry Bureau office of the Jining City said the zoo told authorities the dog was being temporarily housed in the wolf enclosure to prevent people from trying to sneak into the zoo by scaling the wall into the habitat. Because if I'm going to sneak into a zoo, it's going to be directly into the wolf enclosure.
Well, wait, a person snuck into the wolf enclosure too?
No, that's
dog.
why they're housing the dog in there, to keep people from sneaking in.
A Rottweiler, which is a pretty good guard dog. Would you sneak into the wolf enclosure, Frankie? Probably. This is my cat, Frank.
Yeah, Frankie doesn't seem to care about
he doesn't seem to care. I feel like he would be a little too trusting with the wolf enclosure too, actually. But so a Rottweiler, which is clearly not a wolf.
Clearly.
I mean, a Rottweiler is quite they're impressive dogs.
Oh,
they're pretty. I think they're beautiful dogs. They're fearsome dogs. They really can give off if you need to take care of your house and your family and you want to have some animal that really does that for you. I would imagine a Rottweiler would be a good choice. I mean,
Rottweilers will keep bad guys away. That's for sure.
But even so, I would never think wolf when I think Rottweiler.
No.
I mean, there's so many differences going on. I suppose they could breed together and make a Rottwolf.
I think Wolfweiler.
Well, yeah, Wolfweiler.
Yeah, that would be. Rottwolf sounds like a zombie dog or something.
Yeah, Wolfweiler, a Wolfweiler. But a Rottweiler, well, no one mistook the Rottweiler for a wolf, right?
I'm hoping not. I'm hoping there aren't kids walking around in China that are thinking that a Rottweiler is a wolf now.
But, it's possible, but man, that's the Rottweiler's guarding the wolf den at the zoo.
Right.
Is that what I'm understanding?
Because there aren't any wolves in it anymore. So I guess in the absence of wolves, they're afraid people will use the empty wolf den to sneak into the zoo. So they're going to surprise them with a Rottweiler.
Hey, I ain't mad. If they're really trying to sneak into the zoo, that's not a bad idea.
Right.
Although the wolf, I mean, if the Rottweiler's trained to deter criminals and trespassers, that sounds pretty brilliant, actually.
Yeah.
I'm not mad.
That's good.
I'm not mad.
I was hoping you wouldn't be. I'm not mad about it either. I just, it's just different. It's just a different.
It is.
A different way of using a Rottweiler.
Yeah. And newsworthy somehow.
Well, I mean, it's not the royal family, but it's close. It's
right.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Well, let's see. This one I thought the headline was kind of weird, so we'll see what we actually have here. A New York woman investigating a hole behind her bathroom mirror went through the proverbial looking glass and made a startling discovery: an entire empty apartment. Samantha Hartsoe, who chronicled her discovery in a series of TikTok videos, because that's what everybody does nowadays.
Yes, exactly.
Said she was investigating the source of a cold draft in her Roosevelt Island apartment, and she tracked the blowing air to her bathroom mirror. Hartsoe removed the mirror and discovered it was hiding a large square hole into a dark room. Curiosity killed the cat, and curiosity is going to kill me, Hartsoe recalled thinking in an interview with NBC New York. I can't not know what's on the other side of my bathroom. That's true. If I removed my bathroom mirror and there was this big empty space in there, I'd have to know why.
Okay, this is my wildest dreams come true. This is awesome. I love this one. I mean, I'm a little girl, like a little kid thinking about this, because when I was younger, I always just prayed and hoped there was some secret passageway somewhere in my house that I didn't know about that would lead me somewhere that was secret and undiscovered. And she had that happen to her. I'm so jealous of her, actually.
She climbed. Hartso climbed through the opening and discovered the room was part of a 2-story vacant apartment.
Cool.
She said
That's
she
so
toured the
cool.
whole residence, finding only trash bags, an uninstalled toilet, and an empty water bottle.
And Aslan and the White Witch and Turkish Delight and whatever else.
Right, whatever else they
A
found in
fawn.
the
You know,
there's got to be a fawn in there. Yeah.
She basically found Narnia. You know, she pretty much found the Cheshire Cat. Like, where's the Mad Hatter? I'm so there.
yeah.
I'm Jabberwocky.
If I found that, I would have to find the exit to that apartment so that I could go outside and make sure I was still in the same universe. That I didn't cross over into some parallel dimension.
The Upside Down or something. You know, I think that's awesome. I'm jealous. I hope I'm going to start looking behind the mirrors. I just moved into a new house, but I'm still convinced there's something I don't know. I watched it be built from the studs, but I know there's something. I know there's something I don't know.
If you had it built yourself, and you could have talked to somebody that was building and had them put something secret in there for you to find.
I really should have done that. I knew I should have done that. I knew it.
If I ever have my own house built, that's what I'm going to do. I've tried in this one to find, this was my grandparents' house when I was growing up, so I know every room.
Now that's cool too.
I've thought about putting a secret underground bunker out back or something secret to have.
That would be, I missed my chance. Oh well, next time.
Yep, there's always next time.
Right?
All right. Let's see what else we have. On this show, anytime there is a story about an emu, I have to cover it.
Oh, please do. My husband, before you even go here, my husband has a recurring nightmare and he talks about it because whenever we've gone to an occasional zoo or we've traveled to Australia together and seen, these animals and things that we're not used to seeing, an emu will often be around. And he said he has a recurring dream from his childhood that he's laying on the ground and an emu's beak is coming at him and just swallows him up. So what's the story?
It's probably not nearly as interesting as that, but I'm hoping.
It might just be that.
It might, because this one's closer to home. Well, you just moved out. You said you were in Seattle, so that's.
Well, I lived in LA the past 10 years, but I moved to Austin a few months ago.
A farm in Washington State is asking residents to keep a lookout for an escaped emu that slipped through a damaged section of fencing. AJ's Acre in Everett.
That's where I'm from.
What? From Everett?
I still have an Everett area code on my phone.
Funny.
I'm from Snohomish, but it's like it's Everett. It's the same.
Are you familiar with AJ's Acre?
Probably. It sounds familiar. So what happened?
They said somebody cut through the facility's fence Wednesday night, allowing 3 emus to get loose. 2 of the large Australian birds were soon recaptured, but the third, named Sarah, how cute, remained at large. The farm said the emu was last seen wandering through
Mukilteo.
Okay, thank you.
I got you. That's my hood. That's my old stomp. Mukilteo.
The owner said animal control has been notified of the flightless bird's escape, and members of the public are being asked not to approach Sarah, as she could become spooked and run into traffic or go into hiding.
Poor Sarah.
Yeah, poor Sarah's out there all alone.
Mukilteo's a really nice area. She got to the really nice, housing gets a lot more expensive in Mukilteo than it does in Everett.
So Sarah's got good taste.
Sarah's trying to get the good real estate. I mean, beautiful views, beautiful sweeping views in Mukilteo of the coastline. My favorite restaurant, Ivor's, is in Mukilteo. Really good clam chowder. Love that place. So maybe Sarah just wants some chowder. I don't think emus eat chowder though.
She might try it.
I think they eat rats and my husband's face, apparently. But well, I'm gonna send Chris up there to find Sarah. Maybe she'll,
Eat his
maybe
face.
yeah. But like she's poor Sarah. I mean, maybe not poor Sarah. Maybe she found a nice, wealthy Mukilteo family and
Right.
like lives in the beautiful and has a beautiful view of the coast of the sound
Yeah.
and eats.
Besides, that's a sitcom right there. That's the beginning of a sitcom where this random emu just wanders into somebody's fancy house and they take her in.
Yeah, my dad was a middle school principal in the Mukilteo School District, which straddles Everett and Mukilteo. Maybe he, that's a small world right there. I'm telling you what.
There you go. Yeah.
Those are specific neighborhoods too. Those are very specific places. Everett, Washington, and Mukilteo, Washington. Yeah.
Yeah, because until that story, I had not heard of either.
Nope. But they're north. They're due north of Seattle on the Sound.
All right. Now, since I had so much trouble pronouncing Mukilteo, I'm going to try this next article. The COVID-19 pandemic has inspired a linguistic shift across the globe, introducing many phrases to the English lexicon, from social distancing to super spreader event. In Germany, however, 1,200. According to a list compiled by the Leibniz Institute for the German Language. This is a dramatic increase from the normal 200 or so words that annually enter the German language, according to the Institute. I'm going to try some of these. They're going to be disastrous. They are going to be absolutely disastrous.
I know I'm supposed to create some sort of element of mystery, being an artist and everything, but the woman who emailed you, Christina, my manager's assistant, she lives in Munich and she's German, and maybe I'm gonna have to ask her about this and she can pronounce them for us.
There you go. Yeah, well, I will try terribly.
I'm ready.
The lengthy list assembled via careful monitoring of new terms as they appeared in articles is due to Germany's tendency to combine words together. For instance, Corona Mutationsgebiet, which is a mashup of the words corona, mutation, and area. That one's not.
Okay.
Okay. I got it.
Understood. Fair enough.
Other intriguing combinations include the uniquely German Corona Fußgruß, which translates to Corona foot greeting.
Oh, so like you bump feet instead of shake hands? Is that what you do? I'm picturing it.
That makes sense. The Corona
like
Fußgruß.
Instead of a fist bump, you do a foot bump?
Right.
All right. That's cool. Fine.
Right. It describes the alternative to handshakes that many were forced to adopt during the early stages of the pandemic. Gesichtskondom, or face condom, is one of several new words for mask, while maskentrottel refers to a, quote, mask idiot, or someone who fails to wear a mask properly.
Right. We have that in English, I suppose.
Yes, that's true. I'm going to start calling them maskentrottels now.
Please do.
That's a maskentrottel.
Of course.
Abstandsbier directly translates to distance beer, the now common way of safely socializing. Let's go have a distance beer.
Yes, because drinking alcohol definitely helps you stay away from one another.
Right. That's why they had to close all the bars down. So that's about the extent of the new vocabulary that this article covers. But that's not 1,200. But
no, that's a good little handful there. I really need to ask Chrissy about that. She doesn't want to be mentioned on podcasts, but she's being mentioned on this one.
There you go. Yeah, just so you can ask about the Gesicht's condom.
She needs to tell me if this is happening in her life or not, if she's experiencing this.
Right. If she's, if I want to know more about the Corona foot greeting.
I do too.
The Corona Fußgruß.
I guess there's another cat. There's so many cats. There's just two. But I've seen I've seen people do the foot greeting. I feel like I've seen Americans do the foot greeting.
Okay, because I've done the elbow bump, but not the.
That one I've done. I mean, I've also hugged people, but I've also seen people do the foot greeting. I think.
Yeah, I that's not one I've seen yet. So.
Okay.
Oh, what else do we have? I know we're going to have something in here.
I need something else.
Yeah, we got to have something else. We got to have something else. This one I just thought was kind of strange as far as the if I can get it to pull up here. A North Carolina woman who was adopted as an infant has discovered through genealogical sleuthing that her biological father is one of the FBI's most wanted fugitives for brutally murdering his mother, wife, and 3 sons in 1976, according to reports. Wow, I did not expect that.
I mean, I guess she dodged a bullet.
Oh, it's definitely. I don't know if they were bullets. Might have been a machete. She dodged something that would have been pretty harsh.
You know, I actually
somebody famous.
so good. Hey, I mean, we're all a little evil, but did this guy might have just been a little more outward with it, huh?
Yes, that's oh wow, this article actually goes into the details, and I am not doing that because that's a bit much.
A bit much indeed.
That's a bit much for the Life Radio Show.
Bit much.
Yeah. Let's see. I think we have time for one more, and we're going to go with a. Do you follow sports at all?
I have family that does, but try me.
Okay. Well, this is interesting. The article's out of Austin, Texas, but it's about Cleveland Browns quarterback.
Well, my husband's from Cleveland, and he'll probably know more about. He talks about the Browns all the time, and they're always on. So go ahead.
Okay, this is not sports related. It's just Cleveland Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield said he had a close encounter with the unknown. According to his Twitter page on Wednesday, he and his wife, Emily Wilkinson, saw a UFO over Lake Travis in the Austin area. Almost 100%. Em and I just saw a UFO drop straight out of the sky on our way home from dinner. We stopped and looked at each other and asked if either of us saw it. A very bright ball of light going straight down out of the sky towards Lake Travis. Unfortunately, none of his Twitter followers appeared to have any serious answers, with one saying, "Nah, Baker, that was me coming to thank you for being a wonderful quarterback." Aw.
Can you describe what he saw again?
A very bright ball of light going straight down out of the sky towards Lake Travis.
I have to break it to him. I have to break something to him. I was just at Lake Travis 2 nights ago. I was eating at the Oasis Brew Pub upstairs overlooking the lake at 7 p.m. or so. And I hate to break it to him, but at 7 p.m. or so, that's the sun shining down on the lake.
Well,
because
just to let you know, he is a Cleveland quarterback, so that probably is news to him. You know, for one, Cleveland doesn't get a lot of sun. For another, he's a quarterback for the Browns.
I mean, I will say it's beautiful. It was beautiful and maybe otherworldly feeling when you see a beautiful sunset over Lake Travis, but it's the sun.
That's mystery solved, Baker Mayfield. We got your back. We now know what it was you saw.
I was there too, and
right.
saw.
We have another witness. Just happens to be my guest on the show.
I live here. I live in Austin.
Yeah. So
I go to the lake.
Yeah. But you have not been abducted by the sun. You have. It's harmless. It's just coming by.
It depends on who you ask. You know, it just depends on who you ask.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there we have it. That is the news, and
there it is.
For whatever it's worth. And we did not get interrupted by Oprah, Meghan, or Prince Harry. So we made it through. And we now know that the sun, if you can't identify it, still makes it a UFO.
And it
think-
still shines as a fiery ball of light over the lake.
If you don't know what the sun is, or if you don't know what something is in general, it still to you is an unidentified object.
Absolutely, of course, fair.
So I guess a UFO is it's in the eye of the beholder, as they
Pure
say.
semantics.
Right. It all depends. It's it all depends on who's looking at it and whether or not they know what it is.
Right.
Because if you don't know what an airplane is, you're not going to be able to identify it when it flies over, and
that would be scary.
So
that would be very scary.
Oh, to see the first one ever, yeah, that would be
terrifying.
Weird. Just standing out in your yard,
yeah,
and this weird noise and this bird not even flapping its wings just come over. It's that would be almost as frightening as an emu biting your face off.
Almost, maybe more.
It depends. It depends. Now, if the airplane landed and turned into an emu,
well, then we're in a dream within a dream. Then we're in some sort of inception.
Right. So my suggestion at that point is climb back through the bathroom mirror into our own dimension, so you don't have to leave Narnia.
Should have built it. I should have built my Narnia. Should have built my Wonderland, my Cheshire Cat.
You always have to do that. The only problem is if you build a Narnia into your own home, you have to remember that any of the mythical beings that you have in there, you have to feed them.
Oh, it's expensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it definitely
can't afford that.
It's great to have, but it definitely is an expense.
I'm still an independent artist, and that's too many mouths to feed. I got to feed drummers and guitarists on tour. It's not gonna happen.
I was not aware that you had to feed drummers.
You do. You they get a per diem, and they get catering. So yeah.
I know bass players you don't, but
tour's
expensive.
I'll tell you what.
All right. Well, I'm going to give you a couple minutes right now, Aubrey. If you have any social media you want to throw out there, of course, your website, promote your upcoming virtual tour again, everything that you have, you can lay it on us once more right here.
Yeah. So the new album's coming out. It's called Standard. It'll be out in May, and we're touring it virtually as live stream concerts. We've done a few of them already, and they've been really awesome. So we're touring live from Austin, but the whole world's invited. Just head over to aubreylogan.com, and it's the first thing you'll see. Going through the platform Veeps to do the show, but they're great. They're a live stream platform. And then, of course, if you want to find me on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, I'm all over that. And if you go to aubreylogan.com, there's little icons that lead you to all of those socials. I love Insta storying with you guys, so join me.
All right. Well, thanks so much for being on the show. It's great talking to you and getting to know you. I will definitely have to check some of your music out because,
please.
You have a lot like me. You have a very vast taste in music, and
we're there's a lot of good stuff out there, and we don't want to be deprived.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being on, and thanks for listening to the Life Radio Show. Like I keep telling you guys, if you're going to keep listening to me, I guess I'm just going to keep making these.
Great.
All right. Have a great night.
Good night, Don. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Life Radio Show podcast. Check it out wherever you listen to podcasts. Remember, if you want to listen live, we are on Tuesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM. You can also stream the show live at wwsu1069.org, and we go Facebook Live at the Life Radio Show's Facebook page. If you have suggestions or comments, feel free to email thelife1069@gmail.com.
Presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
Corona Fußgruß, which translates to Corona foot greeting.